was somewhat of the problem. The infamous party school. To be an introvert and not have stepped into one party because I can't do it. I don't go up to people to make friends. I'll just sit there. 3 humans in my room, come home almost 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, wake up at 8 o'clock. College? When it's like a sleep with everybody, talk to everybody, party with everybody, because you got me, I don't want to talk to nobody. Lines of, if you don't live here, we got new people coming in, so lead a chat. I looked at that. I'm literally like, yo, in my head, like, kick me out then. Hey y'all, it's me, Zion. We're back with another video. It's gonna be the last video of my like back to school 2023 series. And if y'all have not seen all the videos, I'm gonna put them all over the screen right now. But I have giveaways, advice videos, packing lists, all of the above. But if this is your first time seeing me, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And also y'all, I'm gonna hurry up because I've done said this all 5 videos. Your girl did drop out of college freshman year, but today is the story. So if y'all have been watching all the other videos, I'm like, just wait for the story time, wait for the story time, wait for the story time. This is the story time. Story time / experience video. So I'm gonna be telling y'all how my freshman year went at college. Also, I just want this to be on my page because I want, as I grow on YouTube, I want y'all to know, because I wasn't recording during that time. I was like fake recording, but too scared to record. So I want this to be here so y'all can reflect back on my college experience as I grow. And yeah, so this is gonna pick up everything y'all missed in 2019 of me. I'm not going into detail on everything like personally, but all the college things that happened. I'm going to try not to say everything, but I'm gonna say enough. So first and foremost, I was somewhat of the problem. Your girl has very bad anxiety. I was very sheltered growing up, and I guess I come off as very not inviting sometimes in terms of people getting close to me or friend wise. So I kind of went into this experience a little like, I don't know, my energy. I know that I'm doing this because I don't trust people, but it does come off as I don't want to be bothered by people. So I know that now, looking back, that probably could have been a reason, but I'm just gonna put that out there because some of it was me. Some of it is still me, but I'm working on it, okay? I'm not gonna act like it's not somewhat me. Okay, so I was going to school within fall 2018, I believe. I graduated July 2018. I did go to Albany, the infamous party school. And for your girl to be an introvert and not have stepped into one party, because I can't do it. I cannot do it. Like y'all seen by the title as well, I'm straight up an introvert. There's no other way to describe me. Introvert is it's just me. That's it. I have no other words. I struggle with my mental health sometimes. So it's like being introverted mixed with anxiety all the time. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And someone who just is not very trusting and welcoming of people, especially like new people. Like, I'm that girl. I don't go up to people to make friends. I'll just sit there. I'd rather be alone, okay? I truly rather be alone than to try to make a friend. But yeah, so I did go to Albany for 1.5 semesters. Yeah, my memory is booty because 5 years ago, crazy. So I'm gonna try to keep it as in order as possible because I have my notes, but I'm gonna try. Start with like freshman weekend. It was like, you know, freshman orientation. We stayed for one night. It was 2 days, 1 night. I did good at that one, y'all. Like, I was talking to people. I went in there like, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna be, you know, extroverted, out there. Yeah, I guess that's what they be saying where your battery drains, because as soon as that was over, I had like no interest in doing that. If I could find snaps, I'm gonna put snaps on the screen of like what I was recording and stuff. I was just, you know, I was trying out there, trying to be, I may have tried to overdo it for myself, but I just wanted to go into this experience like, you know, when people go to college and they be different. I was trying to do that, but in my own way, and I think that made me realize that's really not me. But it depends. And then also with being introverted, if you don't know, like, it really depends on the people you're around. I did end up becoming friends with one of the girls. We literally like looked at each other and everything. We were like the last 2 girls within like a group of people. She came up to me, she was like, oh, your name is so pretty. I'm like, so is yours. We started being friends for the next 2-3 days. And I don't know, so I'm able to make friends, but it's not that easy. But sometimes it is. Sometimes I get the vibe from somebody and I'm comfortable right away. But that did happen. Then I was cool with the girls. There was like a whole bunch of other girls in our group. We were cool, but me and that one girl was like this off of 5 minutes of meeting each other. So with me, it's like it depends on the energy of people. But yeah, I'll put snaps if I could find them of my college, like the freshmen and they dancing and stuff. I don't be doing nothing, y'all. I swear. Like I don't do nothing. Like I don't be the one in the middle of the circle. I don't even like to dance. I don't even think I know how to dance, to be very honest with y'all. So but I was still, you know, hyping people up. So I took it as like, you know, I'm trying to be out there. I'm trying to get myself to like break loose of being so sheltered and like in a strict household. That happened and I'm like, you know, I'm ready, you know, it's gonna be a good experience. So at the same time, I had, I guess you could say, like feelings of happiness and scaredness. And like, you know, you're going to college, it feels weird, you're grown now, you're not in high school. So I was like excited but nervous at the same time. We come back to school the day of moving day. Moving day is insane. I'm pretty sure every school, no matter what school you go to, moving day is nuts. I think it took like 5 to 6 hours to get all my stuff upstairs. It was about 500 people just in my building alone. And you had to go one by one up the elevator with like a yellow buggy cart and put your stuff in your room. And I was on the 19th. Start paying attention because I be sitting on the elevator. I was sick. Not even moving. All right. And then, you know, moving day, you start to see everybody's vibes and it's like, oh man, if you know what I'm talking about, that first day of school, it's like, yeah, everybody is. You see the girls who are those type of girls, those type of guys. And it's like, you start seeing all the different energies that are going to be around you. So it's very interesting to say the least. Yeah, so I moved into my dorm, set up. I was the first one there, or my other roommate was there before me. So up next is the fact that I had 2 roommates in one small room, and it was just ridiculous. Why did I get picked out of everyone to have to add an extra person to the room because there were so many kids in the school that they had to triple up certain rooms? I got hit with that. So what they did was put somebody on a bunk bed on top, and if you took the bunk bed, then you got to get the entire closet to yourself because there was only 2 closets. The living with people is weird, okay? Living with 2 people in a small room that technically could be good for 1 person. There was 3 humans in my room in 2 closets. So if you took the top bunk, then you got the whole closet to yourself. And if you had your own bed and you was on the bottom of the bunk, you got to share a closet. So I had to share a closet right when I got to school. Very interesting. My mother did point out some things about certain people, and she ended up being right. I was very naive, y'all. I grew up so strict. It's ridiculous. I like don't be seeing stuff until later on, but let's just say I'm just very like to myself, and I don't be doing the most. And it was like people, not in a bad way, but like some people more extroverted and like free spirits. So let's just say they were free spirits, and I'm not used to that. So yeah, that was some of the people in my room. Looking back, you know, I think it was somewhat of my energy making it look bad, but it was like more of me just not being an open person. I wasn't trying to be like a bitch, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure looking back and what people have told me, like my face be giving that, and if I really don't know you or nothing, it really looks bad. So I'm gonna take it as that, and it is what it is. But that was 5 years ago. But yeah, so moving into the dorm or whatever, I had to share with 2 people until like a letter or something saying, do you want to move because there's space somewhere else? The girl who I was cool with, I had 2 roommates. Let's call one Becky and one G. Look, Becky and G. Becky was on her own bed, G was above me. G made it to the room before Becky and me, and she got to leave. She ain't had no remorse. She said, I'm out of here. Because it was like honestly, you just wanted to get out so you could have your own room. And honestly, you were going to a better dorming place. So her room was a lot better when she moved. It was like more renovated and way bigger. So she was lucky she got it first, but I had to stay in the dorm and stay in there. I honestly stayed in my room the entire time. This is me. I'll be very honest with y'all. I'm really like bad at communicating with people and talking to people and being friendly and going outside. I'm not really good at it. I'm very much a homebody, very much don't trust people. It's a work in progress. I'm gonna say getting better, but it's honestly the same. But I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. So yeah, I stayed in my room the whole time pretty much. I went to work. I ended up halfway through the year working at Blaze Pizza part-time, kind of giving full-time the way I would pick up hours because your girl had to pay for her stuff and your girl needed money. Let me tell y'all, I did not know that people's parents like gave them prepaid credit cards and debit cards and money and certain amounts a week. I didn't know that. I didn't live that life. So I was going to work, and when I noticed I didn't live that life, not in a bad way, it's not like I was poor, I didn't get enough, like, you know, it was just not that type of lifestyle I lived. So when I would get ready for work, they would all be like cuddled up in the little shared area, and they'd be like, where you going? Mind you, I had all my stuff on, so it was like, okay. I said, I'm going to work. And then they would like look at me like, wow, you working and going to school? That's so crazy. I could never do that. In my head, I'm like, so how y'all getting money? How are y'all getting anything? Because how else would we go about that? And then I've like overheard the conversations where they're like, oh yeah, my mom said I can't get no more money until next week. I cashed out I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I see what's going on. Must be nice. That's cool. That's so cool. Like, I didn't live like that, but I went to work. You that really like, I'm a workaholic type of thing. It was very unhealthy back then, but it was more of like me in survival mode. But I'm used to like working and going to school. I was a hairstylist up until like 2020-ish, and I've been doing hair since like high school. So I'm used to like working, and I used to work at Price Shop when I was in high school. I'm used to working and stuff. So when they would get so confused on why I was working or how I was doing it, I was like, I just am. I don't know. I need money and I need to go to school. So put two and two together. But the working and going to school can get hard because I would come home almost 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, depending on what shift I had. And then I would stay up, get in the shower, because if you know Blaze Pizza, you're going to smell like mad pizza and onions. So I always had to get in the shower, always had to freshen up. And I wanted to take long showers because I was sweating all day. Go on my bed maybe at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then go to sleep. And then wake up at 8 o'clock on certain days, I think like 2 days, for 8 a.m. classes. And let me tell you, 8 a.m. classes, highly don't recommend. 10 out of 10 don't recommend. If you are in college, most of the time you are staying up all night. You are grown. You have not mastered discipline yet. You just got out of high school. I don't think you need to give yourself an 8 a.m. class if you're going to be up all night partying, going out and doing all this other stuff. Because, yeah, it's going to hit. I ended up missing a lot of my 8 a.m. classes. When I tell you I physically could not wake up, it was like I put my alarm on and I never heard it go off. And I'm always a morning person. I used to always be up at 6 o'clock, went to charter schools my whole life. And once I got to college, I'm like, yo, this is really crazy. And I would actually genuinely try to make it to class, and then I would end up oversleeping every single time. 8 a.m. classes, I don't know. I don't know about those. Especially if you're doing math at 8 o'clock in the morning. You better pick the 5 o'clock class, the 12 o'clock class. I don't think you need an 8 o'clock math class. Something this school was very infamous for in my freshman year was the fire alarms. Everybody wanted to be smoking in the building, even though they say, don't smoke, kids don't listen. Yeah, so I want to say almost every single night, this fire alarm will go off. And I told you, I live on the 19th floor. You can't use the elevators during a fire alarm. 19 flights of steps. I'm going to be very honest with y'all. It was one time. Me and my roommate, we was like, we not going downstairs. It's not a fire. I'm like, Lord, please don't let it be the day that it's a real fire and I'm choosing not to go. And then you could have got expelled. Not expelled probably, but in a lot of trouble because they came to check the rooms. But we locked our door. So they couldn't get in. I think they couldn't get in. I wonder if they still had a universal key, but we stayed one time in a room because it was just ridiculous. Every single night during the middle of your sleep, a loud, almost fire truck fire alarm is going off because everyone's smoking. We had to go to a mandatory meeting for it. It was ridiculous. So that was interesting. That was very triggering. If you are coming from living in a big old house, or if you had your own room and all of this, I think dorm living, you're gonna have to get ready for it, because It's crazy living with somebody you don't even know. When I think of it now, I would never sign up to live with someone I don't know. In a way of like a girl too. Oh my gosh, because it's like, what if she's this? What if she doesn't smell that great? What if she doesn't carry herself that great? What if she likes to live in filth? It's like, it's really not it. The number one thing with my roommate after my other roommate left, I liked the roommate that was above me that ended up leaving. It's not like I didn't like the other roommate, it's just we didn't click. But the other girl, I used to always go to her dorm after she left. We would watch movies, we would watch shows, we would work together. Like, she was cool. But then the girl ended up leaving. Like, so did I after that. But she left before me, I think, or I left before her. I can't remember. But she ended up leaving too, dropping out. I think she went to like online classes or something. The roommate next to me, the only thing with her, she was similar to me coming from a she was coming from a foreign family, so like her strictness I guess was different than mine, but she was a little wild and free, just a little bit. There was instances where they're asking me where's the roommate, we can't find her, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't really talk to her that much. It's not like we're close. They would leave with her, go to parties, and people would say they didn't know where she was at. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what y'all want me to do about it. But the only other thing with her was her alarm. And that's why I say, if you're living with somebody and you're not used to it, I think you gotta get ready. My roommate, she could Becky, she could sleep through her alarms 10 times straight. 10 times straight, she'll snooze that alarm and sleep through it. There was times I'm like, girl, please, can you either go to class or can you turn the alarm off? It's too much. I'm not ready to wake up yet, and your alarm has woken me up 10 times in a row. Eventually, I learned to tune it out because I think it kept happening, but she literally would never go to class. But that's another story for her to tell. But pretty much those alarms wasn't doing it. And that's why I'm saying, like, college, you gotta have discipline to go to class, get up, because your parents ain't coming in your room and waking you up and telling you to go to school no more. I told y'all, I'm introverted. I wasn't very, like, friendly or coming off as someone who's, like, inviting. So it's very funny because it really depends on somebody's energy for me. Because the first day that I did go to class and I went to the breakfast thing, I seen one girl, we just literally talked to each other. That was it. We both went to make a waffle. We sat down next to each other and we talked the whole time until class. And that was it. Like, we was cool. We would snap each other. We would message each other. Not like besties, but it was like, that's like, for me to do that is different. So I was like, I could make friends or make acquaintances, but I could not get past that. So that's where I'm like, this is where I come in as the problem, because it's because I have certain issues with stuff like that. But there was also another instance where another girl, we had class together. I would ask her, does she want to study? She would help me with certain things, because in that class, I didn't know what was going on. But these are like, little tips too. If you're in college, asking people, just usually everybody's feeling the same way, I'm noticing. Like, we're all in a new space. Yeah, so I would definitely say to ask people in your class if y'all want to study together. And that's a good way to make friends. But don't be like me. Don't be too off on people. Just don't let them be mad close right away, I'm learning as I go. I was like 18, fresh out of high school, fresh out of what I was dealing with. I'm still learning how to be a people person because I'm just not used to it at all. So in my classes, there was like these two pretty girls. I promise y'all, I usually sit next to pretty girls where I could feel the energy. I don't sit next to pretty girls that you could feel that they're like bitch and like rude. I don't sit next to those girls. I sit next to the girls that seem chill like me, pretty and like calm. So I sat next to these girls. We all got our Snapchats. I did this in like 2 classes, and then it was like you always have a buddy. I knew that much. I knew that much to always have a buddy in every class. Hey girl, you got the notes from the class? I told you I would miss 8 a.m. classes sometimes, and sometimes I wouldn't want to go to class. Every class wasn't like you had to go, so then I would take advantage. But then in college, you might as well go to class, because then they'll be like, yeah, I don't really know what's going on, so let me go to class. So yeah, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing in terms of like, that was the closest of me making friends. The girl from like the freshman day, freshman weekend, the girl I met in the breakfast spot, my other roommate that ended up going, G, yeah, like she went somewhere else. I had like cool people I could talk to, so I didn't talk to not a soul. I just wasn't close to a lot of people, and that's like, as an introvert, it's in college when it's like a sleep with everybody, talk to everybody, party with everybody, get drunk with everybody, and then you got me. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to be around nobody. Like, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of my mental. It was very stressful at the time. It was very hard for me to get through it because I felt like really alone because I was always by myself pretty much. Other than the few times I would see people and go to class. I'm gonna be honest with you, I had more fun at work than I had at school. But yeah, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better a little bit. Like, friendly wise. Because I feel like at some point I have to loosen up and stop being so to people. But it's not y'all fault, it's my fault. And it's not my fault, it's my trauma. We're gonna heal it though. The girl will always be in the library other than going to work too. I think the library stayed open very late. I will always be in the library doing my work. I didn't know what was going on. I was going through so much at home. So this is why I ended up dropping out because, I mean, between me being like to myself, by myself all the time, it kind of gets depressing. I was in a relationship that was not, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was not given when it was during that year. I was really stressed out. I was going through a lot of things at home. I was struggling with my mental health. It was like everything is crashing down. And then I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna get to what really like took the cake for me. What made me say I'm done here. I have one good class also. I had two good classes, I'm not gonna lie. My one good class, I believe, was the first semester. And my class wasn't even ran by a professor. It was by a judge. And he would teach business law. And his class was 3 hours long, but he would usually make us only stay for like 2. But that was my best class. I had the highest grade I've ever had was like a 98. And I got like a 98, I think, too, on the final. Like, his class was lit. I liked his class. And I liked my statistics class my second semester. The other classes, the professors was really weird and like they were treating you like you were still in high school kind of, and that gets on my nerve because I'm like, if I just left high school, why are y'all acting like high school teachers? Y'all supposed to be professors, you know? It was in terms of like, yeah, I know not to be on your phone and stuff, but there's people in here that are almost like 30, 40, 50, you know, everybody's not like strictly 17, even though I was 18, 17, 18. I'm talking for the others. Like, how you gonna tell somebody don't be on their phone or check their phone? They got kids doing too much, or you would get kicked out of class. And then my other classes, the class with the judge, this is why I liked his class. He literally was like, y'all could be on your phone. If y'all film my class, y'all film my class. I like that. I like that accountability. Like, let me do what I want. I ain't gonna blame you. And I'm, you know, we don't have no beef because you're not doing too much. But he was like, oh, because if my phone rings, I'm gonna answer it. If it's someone important, I'm gonna answer it. So if y'all gotta do that, that's how it be. Because the teachers be like, or the professors is like, oh, y'all got an emergency, it's important. We got an emergency, we get kicked out of class. I ain't like that. I ain't like that energy. Definitely read y'all syllabus because they be making stuff up. The way they grade. So it was very different for me going from small classes in a public high school to almost 500 people in one room. And that's so crazy to me that classes could be that size. Like, I would literally go from a class that was 500 in a whole like assembly room looking thing, and then my writing class was like 10 people. I'm like, the switch up is too much. You have to understand what is the best way for you to learn, because if you're in a whole bunch of classes like 500 people and you're mad far from the professor, you can't even hear them and stuff like that, you gotta know what's the best thing. I think I did pretty good in those classes, so I was pretty chill. It was just a little weird in adjustment when I got out of high school, because it was like from high school to now, it was just a different feeling in college, and I can't explain it. I don't know what would have happened if I stayed the whole 4 years. I wonder if I would have like let go and been free, or felt a little more free, or if I would just stay the way I am. And given how I'm still the way I am, it's given, I don't know. And your girl, like I said, I'm really not an outside person. I'm not like a party person at all. I would not go to parties. I didn't go anywhere. Honestly, my party was work, because I honestly worked 5 to like 2. So your girl's been on the hustle grind. I just get to it because who else is gonna do it? And I know that's not healthy, and I'm working on not having to be that way, but that's kind of how it was in high school. I mean, high school and college. Back to like the roommate situations and the suite mates. We would just have little issues in terms of the bathroom was one. I hope I still have the messages. The group chat was iffy. The way people was talking in there, I remember it being iffy. I would ignore it a lot, but I just think it was a little weird. I just think it's the idea of like 6 people don't know each other, And honestly, my other suite mates, the 2 girls knew each other, and then the other 2 girls knew each other, and us 3, we didn't know each other. So it was kind of like they knew each other, we didn't know each other, we didn't know them, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, the bathroom, I guess girls were was a problem. There was always hair in the shower. Everybody would go back and forth about whose hair is in the shower, who's not cleaning up after themselves, who leaving dirty tampons or pads out. It was a lot going on. And honestly, y'all, I really try not to even go in that bathroom. We had a bathroom downstairs. I would go to the bathroom downstairs sometimes if I really had to go to the bathroom and somebody was in the bathroom. I really didn't go to that bathroom. And I only would get in the shower, you know. I would basically just get in the shower. I would not even go in that bathroom pretty much. Class was early, like I said, I did have early classes, so I'll be the only one up. I'm like, I cleaned the bathroom, I know I did. And then they would point out specifically, it's this type of hair, it's this. I'm like, I'm wearing braids. It ain't me. I'm not about to argue in this group chat. So honestly, I think that was a problem. I think taking out the trash was a problem. And there was like a scenario where I got into it with my roommate a little bit, and it was just too much. I don't remember. I know I got annoyed OD because there was like a lot going on. It was just so much going on for me personally, relationship wise. It was, yeah, girls getting hit. This is why it took me out. Not gonna lie, it took me out. On top of trying to do schoolwork and work, it took me out. Like I mentioned before, I was like on the route of like being a hairstylist. So I was like basically a hairstylist all high school, like 11th and 12th grade. I'm thinking even, you know, past that, I'm thinking, you know, I'm gonna open a salon or a suite and I'll do hair. Let's just say 2020, around that time, I stopped doing hair. But I thought that was where I wanted to go during college. I'm like, why am I gonna be here for that? You know, I don't really need this. Even when I talked to my advisor, she said, you know, maybe community college would be better. So she was getting in my ear about it. And that was kind of where I was going with dropping out. So I wasn't decided yet, but I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about just going back to a salon and working. So I did end up doing that. I did end up going to a salon. That fell through too much. My life story is funny. Let's just say the salon didn't work out. Things got crazy, weird, all the above. I may let y'all know about that sooner or not. I'll let y'all know about that one day. But that didn't work out. I done dropped out. That didn't work out. I was going through so much home, relationship, life, everything. Also, it was like, while I'm thinking, oh, let me be a hairstylist, I was like, oh, let me be a social worker. Oh, let me study psychology because I like criminal minds. I'm like, oh, let me study psychology, sociology. Let me be a detective. I go to forensic science. Like, I was just doing too much, thinking too much things to do. And I pretty much was basically undecided at that point. And it was like, it was just being undecided was stressing me out. Wanted to be a hairstylist was stressing me out. Everything in my life was stressing me out. So it was like, it just came down. I'm just like, I can't do it no more. I didn't want to be in the room. Oh, my roommate ended up getting kicked out by her parents. So she left. So I was pretty peaceful toward the end because I'm like, this is everything I needed to be by myself. So I had my room to myself. Y'all, I ended up failing my writing class, which is one of the classes I hated the most, by like 0.5. At the last day of semester, she told me I can't make up my grade. After she did tell me I could, so it's whatever. But she basically told me I couldn't make up my grade. I failed that last semester. That happening, I was done after that. Because I was like, I'm not about to retake this class, and I actually hate it. Yeah. So that was the reason. That was like the last thing that was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm not doing it. It's whatever. I'm gonna just do hair. Then the hair fell through. Give me some grace. I'm trying to figure it out. Give my papers to drop out, sign those. Yeah, I had to move out by myself. I called somebody to help me move out. I put all my stuff in that tote. Like, this is why people be having the energy of like, I'll just get it done, independent, because nobody came to help me. I had to call an Uber. I had to pack up an entire dorm of stuff, like heavy stuff as well. Pick up the bucket with my foot kind of, and get it down the 2 steps, get it to the Uber. Luckily the Uber did help me pack up his car. I tipped him because it was so much stuff. Imagine moving out of your room into an apartment. Like, I had a lot of stuff. And I did live close to my school. I just wanted to be on campus, which I'm grateful for the experience to know never to do that again, but also to say I had it. But I went back to my mom's house, Blaze Pizza, ended up cutting my hours because at first I told her, oh, I want to have more time to study because my grades were slipping. So I ended up dropping out anyway. They cut my hours. I ended up leaving that job because I'm like, they're ignoring me, and the only time she responded was when I said I'm putting in my 2 weeks, and then she never scheduled me again. Then when I went to the hair salon, that lasted a few months, then that fell through. That had a crazy ending to it too. Then your girl just stopped doing hair in general. But you want to hear something funny? When I did leave the dorm, the group chat that I tell you about, the Snapchat group chat, they specifically said something. I'm gonna put it on the screen if I can find it, but it was something along the lines of, if you don't live here, we got new people coming in, so leave the chat. I looked at that. I left that chat alone. Kick me out. I'm literally like, yo, in my head, like, kick me out then. Cause I'm like, nobody else left. Oh wait, my roommate did leave too, but she never left the chat either. But I had just left. I'm like, this is why I don't be like feel able to get close to people, because it'd be like weird stuff, because I think it was the way it was worded or something that it threw me off. Last thing I seen, I think I got kicked out the chat. Oh no, I think they started a new chat. God is him. As soon as I leave, they're like, someone else is moving in. Your girl's about to have a roommate. Lord, he knew I couldn't do it. He knew I couldn't handle that. So I just, and where I'm at now. But this is like to sum up my college freshman experience. It is all over the place. Your girl being an introvert in college was very stressful, you know, but I do say that I am someone who is like dealing with a lot of mental health, depression, anxiety, on top of it, trust issues. So it's not all the people that was around me. It was kind of me not being outgoing, but I'm not gonna put blame on myself for that. It's just the way I am, you know. I'll probably be like this the rest of my life, to be honest. Probably get a little better, but I didn't make this to scare y'all. Like I said, I just wanted my memories on my YouTube page, so the more I grow, you guys can have somewhat like of a college experience, a little bit of me, which wasn't very long, but it's documented, and that's kind of what I wanted. Last but not least, y'all better stay with y'all clothes when y'all go to the laundromat. I don't know if I'm the only person who feels this way, but when I tell you they violate you at your school's laundromat, if you have one, you should. But if you have one, they will literally take your stuff out of the washer, put it on the floor to put their stuff in if they're rude. Honestly, if you put my stuff on top of the washer, I'm not gonna be that tight, but I would definitely set an alarm to be to your clothes 5 minutes before it even said it was done, because they are stealing. I don't know why people's putting expensive stuff in there, but they were stealing people's stuff, stealing people's coats, putting people's stuff on the floor, dragging it into like dirty water. Definitely 10 out of 10 don't recommend to leave your clothes by themselves, or you better hurry up and go back down there. That's my number one out of everything in college. That's all I like to talk about, that right there, because that had me messed up. I'm like, yo, y'all bugging. Y'all really bugging. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, so this is your girl's college freshman experience. Why I dropped out. I tried to hit every point. If I didn't, y'all will hear it sometime in my life as I record, because I'm probably gonna bring something up at some point. But so thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all go check out all the other videos in my Back to School 2023 series. This is gonna be the last video, so this is the end of the series. So you guys enjoyed every video, including this one, and let me know in the comments if you have a similar freshman story. What's your freshman story? Anything around college, if you're going to college. Did I scare y'all? I hope I didn't scare y'all, but this is my stories, my experience. Honestly, it does seem like fun if you are, you know, put yourself out there and stuff. That's something I just didn't do. So I don't think it's a horrible experience. I just think it wasn't for me, and that's how I feel about it. So I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.